Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic day out there today. My name is Deneen Merriweather. Hey, I'm live at 5. 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 Come on inside of the StreamYard room. Yes, we're having a conversation today about do you take responsibility for your missed commitments? Yep, I'm in your face today. Why? Because people been in my face. So it's all right if I go ahead and just return the favor. Hey, Sissy, how you doing? So happy that you are here. Hopefully you have done all the things that you needed to do today. I'll be giving you a call after this. So listen, before I get into this conversation about do you take responsibility for missed commitments? And what I mean by commitments is things that you said that you was going to do that you didn't. This whole month and my final month of Live at 5 is all about honoring your word. It's one of the most powerful conversations I've ever been in, that I've learned about, that I've been trained in. And I think it would be definitely important for you to just be a part of these conversations this month. See where it is in your life where you lose integrity. And I'm sure you could start in the area of your words, your commitments, the things you say, commit your life to, that you purpose, you intend to, that you want to do, like all of those are things that you may even say that you should do. And should is not even a word inside the vocabulary that we need to use. But anyway, we do. So look, before we get into this conversation, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Deneen Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenpreneur's Jumpstart Program. It is the #1 training environment for women in the world who want to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. How do you do this? By building your courage, your confidence, and your competence. And it's so important. That last C, it's so important about competency. Put it in the chat. It's important to gain competency, and it doesn't have anything to do with the conversation. But just lock in. It's gonna be a powerful conversation today. But competency is so important to you achieving the things in life that you want. That you want to experience, that you want to give, the way that you want to serve. It's hard, number one, to gain competency, right? It's like learning a new skill, is doing things that you haven't done before. It's failing a lot, trying again, learning some more, failing, trying again, learning some more, failing, try it again, learn some more, right? And these are the things that make us so uncomfortable, sometimes discourage us, right? How many of you have ever wanted to experience something so bad, whether it was a successful business, right? That you wanted to be able to earn a particular amount of money. Maybe it's not in your business, maybe it's just in your career. And no matter how hard you work, or how many late hours you put on, or how many relationships you build, or how many networking events that you go to, how many times that you dress in your best attire, you walking with your heels until corns come on your toes, to be in spaces, to mingle, to get in front of the people that you believe that will push you forward, pull you forward, help you forward, only to find out that they're not the one, or it still doesn't give you what it is that you were striving for. So what I want to tell you, if that's you and you feel that way, like, hey, I've really been working hard at this, I've really been doing things that I need to do. A coach recently said, in my atmosphere, sometimes what's missing, a lot of times when you're working hard and you're doing the things that you know that you need to do, but you're still not able to break through that ceiling, you're not able to advance, you're not able to go to the next level. And a lot of times it's the competency, it's the skill. And how often are you really putting time aside to build skill? Because we think, because we've been doing something for a long time, or in spaces for a long time, that it's enough. But remember, everything, the possibility that you've created in your future is something that you haven't obtained. And the reason why you're not able to obtain is because you're not the person that you need to be yet. That's the road that you're on. It's the journey that you're on. So whatever development, whatever skill set, whatever it is that you need to do in order to get there is your job. It's your job. Put it in the chat. It's my job. It's your job to do what it takes to make it happen. Right. And we're going to talk about this first point after I build this conversation around, do you take responsibility for your miscommitments, right? How many of us have experienced someone saying that they would do something for us, that they would be there for us, show up for us, and then only for them to pull out the last minute. And that made like a major impact on everything that we had to do. It destroyed our schedule, our calendar. We wound up being late, not having the things that we needed because someone that committed to be there, to do something for us, decided, hey, this is not going to work for me. And if you've experienced that, say, yeah, I've experienced that, where people tell me that they're going to show up and they don't show up, or people said that they would do things for me and then they don't do them. But here is the thing. How many times, this is the crust, right? How many times have you missed commitments? Have you not shown up when you were supposed to show up? Have you not communicated to the person that you committed to that you wasn't going to do what you said you was going to do? What did it cause? What happened? What was the breakdown? Because I'm sure it was a breakdown. For some of us, we've lost relationships, right? That have just burned down to the ground just because we didn't honor the commitment that we made, right? We said we was going to do something, right? We said it out our mouths, but then when the rubber met the road, we like, nah, I don't want to do that. And look, and this is not anything against changing your mind. You are free to change your mind. You are free to choose. You are free to say when things are not working for you. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm going to tell you where it breaks down. Put this in the chat. And I said it on the live that we did on Monday night for the Monday message recall for my congregation. And it's withholding communication. Put it in the chat. Stop withholding communication. A lot of the things that we bump up against is because we're withholding communication. And again, this ain't even my points for the conversation yet. I'm just dropping nuggets along the way. But listen, stop withholding communication. I'm guilty of it, and I know you're guilty of it. And how do I know that? Because if I'm aware of it, I know better, and I still do it. I know you do it. I know you don't tell the people that you're upset with that you're upset. You don't tell them why. You don't tell them what caused the breakdown, right? Because you're not that authentic. You're not that real. And you're not that brave and courageous that you play to be, okay? How do I know that? Because I know I don't. Not all the time. Now you may catch me more being courageous and bold in my conversation. But there's some instances where I don't, right? Sometimes I'm overly concerned about how it's going to land, and I should be, or I won't say should, but I definitely need to take ownership of how things land for people. So in certain spaces, I can't go in there being reckless, right? Because the relationship is not there for me to say the things that I want to say the way that I want to say them. All spaces, you can't do that. You have to be seasoned, or the season your speech. That's what the Bible tells us, right? You have to season your speech. And maturity shows you, develops you, and lets you know how to season your speech. What it is that you need to do. Uh-oh, I feel this tickle in my throat. It's not good. Let me see if I got a cough drop around here. I don't think I do. I think I ate the last one. But I say all that to say, you have to be mindful of what it is that you're saying and how you say it. So let me see if I can get into this conversation. And I don't know if my kid, oh, here, look at God. I found a recaller right here in my pocketbook. Thank you, Black Bag. So listen. Let's get into this conversation about, do you take responsibility for your missed commitments? Now, give me a second to just suck on this a little bit so I can clear this up so you can actually get what it is that I have to say, because I know that it will be helpful to who you are, who you're becoming, what you're developing yourself, and who you're developing yourself to be. And so often, we don't understand how these commitments that we make to people are so important, and more important to you. Listen to what I'm saying. More important to you than it ever will be to them. And the reason why I say this is because of that quote that's in one of my favorite books, Chop Wood and Carry Water. is because you're always building your own house. So when you let people down and you don't honor commitments and you don't do what you said you're going to do, it only creates a stain in your character. Now, granted, you may have caused some things that you're unaware of, which we're going to get to, but it affects you way more than it affects them. It's like hanging on to anger and upset. It's killing you. It's not killing them. It's like drinking the poison and expecting the other person to die. No. When you don't honor your word and when you miss commitments and don't do the things that I'm going to tell you that would be great for you to do, you're only hurting yourself because you're building your own house. Okay, so listen. Today, I had an appointment set. And this is just me giving you the scenario. I had an appointment set earlier. I had an unexpected call by one of my friends I hadn't spoken to in a while. I took the call. Now, me taking the call affected what I was supposed to be doing for that hour and 30 minutes because that's how long we talk, right? And my calendar is a beast, right? I have things that I'm doing every hour, right? Even if it's just taking the break, it's on there. So I took that phone call, which shifted something that I had planned to do. And right now it's shifted later on to the day, maybe even later than I wanted to, but it's on my calendar. I shifted. I made the decision that I was going to shift it. And after I took that call, I had an appointment. So it prevented me from going out. I needed to go out in order to handle what was on my calendar. But because I had this call, I didn't. So I got on the Zoom call and I waited 5 minutes. I know y'all get that. The 5 is the number of what? 5 is the number of grace. Put it in the chat. 5 is the number of grace. So I waited how long? I waited 5 minutes. Okay. And after the person didn't show up, I went to my text message and I explained, hey, I waited 5 minutes. I'm logging off. If you want to get together, let me know. Hopefully let's reschedule at a time that maybe works for you. Have an amazing rest of the week. Right. So in my conversation, it was, hey, you missed this commitment. And the next time I'm going to be open to meet with you is going to be next week because you're not busting back up in this calendar this week. You had a space. You didn't take it. We could talk about next week because that's when I got availability. Now, what the person wasn't aware of was because I thought I had the appointment, like I honored the appointment, it prevented me from leaving. It prevented me from going to handle the thing that I had moved in my calendar. I could have left after the phone call and went to go do the thing that I needed to do. But because they didn't tell me that time didn't work for them, like they didn't call me in advance, for y'all people who think that you can wait until the commitment time comes in order to communicate that you ain't going to show up, unacceptable. Put it in the chat. # unacceptable. Let's bring that back for a second. So it caused me to not only lose time, waste time, because at this point now it's like, oh my God, what else on my calendar I can move up that's equal to the amount of time that I have before my next appointment, before the next thing that I have to do. So it from the beginning of the day, me taking that call, which is my choice, I get to choose. Put it in the chat. I get to choose the disruption in my calendar. But you, ma'am, or you, sir, cannot and will not have the liberty to bust my calendar up and move things around. Okay, let me keep going. So that person started to give reasons and excuses for why they did not honor the call. Because remember, I didn't send them no reminder. I didn't reach out to them like, hey, we still meeting today. I didn't do none of that. When the minute of grace came, I got off. Here's the thing. Still not a part of the steps, but I'm just telling you, it's in my shanana nana. We are all adults. Put that in the chat. We are all adults. I don't babysit my clients. I'm sure enough not going to babysit people that I'm networking with or getting to know or want to collaborate with or do service with. Right? There's a level of expected development in order for us to be able to collaborate with one another. If we're not able or we don't have the same values, standards, vision, mission. Like, there has to be some alignment. And if there's no alignment, we can't be partners. We can't collaborate. If you don't operate in your life that everything matters, you cannot collaborate with me. Put it in the chat. Everything matters. And if you don't live life that everything matters, I'm not your person. Do you get that? Let me take the glasses off. If you don't operate in your life that everything matters, I'm not your person. And remember, it's not that I'm saying that we don't fall, we don't make mistakes, we don't, lose our commitment, and we don't do, like, I'm not perfect. But the awareness of these things that's happening in your life is your job to develop yourself to see. Get the training to develop yourself to be aware when you don't operate in excellence, when you don't honor your commitments, when nobody can trust you to show up when you say you're going to show up. That's you. That's on you. Okay, number one. I'm sorry. Here we go. We 16 minutes in and we number one. Listen. The first thing that I know that people need to do in order to clean up clean up what it is that you've done with this miscommitment is to take ownership. Put that in the chat. Number one is ownership. And what am I mean about ownership? Don't nobody want to hear your reasons why you didn't make the commitment. It's great. It makes you feel better. Yes, it makes you feel justified for not showing up. But the person that needed you don't care about what was happening. It's okay that you communicated, but it has nothing to do with what happened. You missed the commitment. It's an irrelevant point. Nobody cares about your reasons on why you didn't show up. You don't have to say it. Oh, I'm sorry, I got stuck on it. No. Nobody cares. I was on the MMR the other night, and while I was there, before I missed the time, I texted and said, "Hey, I'm still on the live. My minister hopped on. We running over. I can't. I'm gonna be late." Right now, God worked it out to where somebody else on the meeting had to wait until a whole hour later, so it gave me extra time to be in the conversation. But do you get it? Don't negate the fact that I did not honor the commitment. Do it take away my responsibility that I wasn't there at 7:30? No. So I have to take ownership of that. And the person that I was going to meet with, in her conversation, because she's trained now to the level I am, if not even above. And she was like, I know I'm just giving you all these reasons, and I can say how this time don't work for me. And yeah, you can say all of that, but you say yes to it. You committed to it. And I get that sometimes when you get into the thick of it, you like, this really don't work. I tried to make it happen, but this don't work. And it doesn't make it wrong. There's nothing wrong with changing your mind. There's nothing wrong with realizing things don't work. But you got to take ownership that you didn't honor what you said you was going to do. Got that? Number two, restore the relationship. Put it in the chat. Number two, restore the relationship. You know how I said people have lost relationships over the years? Because people just don't take ownership, don't see that it was their responsibility to say that I wasn't going to be there, that, hey, I didn't call you in advance. They don't see the damage that they've caused, that they don't get it. And even the lady today, she don't realize that threw off more of my schedule on that. It wasted my time and wound up pushing me up against another meeting. So I still couldn't go out to do the things that I needed to do. But if I had that time, if I knew that I didn't have to prepare for that call and pull up things and be ready to talk, I could have used that time out the door, getting myself to where I needed to go. So now I still have to do it tonight because she didn't communicate. It wasn't important enough to her. Number one, to put me in her calendar. Hint, hint. Number two, to communicate with me that she wasn't going to be there or it didn't work for her. So many different things could have been done. For her to request things to be rescheduled. But I want to give her credit. She did apologize. And what I'm saying is, in this restoration of the relationship, you need to apologize. You need, put that in the chat. You need to apologize. And not no fake apology. And don't be inauthentic. Hey, look, let me tell you how straight some of the conversations need to be. Hey, when I committed to this, in my heart, I really didn't want to do it. But I was more concerned about looking good and making you like me and having you pat me on the back and others pat me on the back for showing up for stuff that I really don't care about. Right? That's straight. That's flat. That's authentic. I really didn't want to do this when I said yes to it. And there's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is that you really should have expressed that before you said yes to the commitment, but you was too concerned about looking good, that you committed to something that your heart wasn't even in because your action showed it wasn't important to you. Why? Because it didn't get on the calendar. And when things are not on the calendar, what is that? It don't exist. It's not a real thing. It's not a commitment. It's just talk. Here's a way to honor your word. Write down what you commit yourself to. Put that in the chat. That ain't a point, but put it in there. Write down what you commit yourself to and put it on your calendar. That's the way to make it exist, to make it real. Other than that, you're just being flippant with your words. You're just throwing stuff out there and you are not living life like everything matters. Number three, you need to be responsible for the impact that you cause. So you failing to honor a commitment that you made have caused the impact. You know, when we talk about making a decision, there's consequences, benefits, and impact. Well, here we go. You made a decision that you was going to say yes to this commitment. Now, some benefits to this commitment. There's some consequences to this commitment because every time you say yes to something, you're automatically saying no to something else. That's a consequence because you can't do everything at the same time. You get that? And then there's an impact that you made. One impact that I'm sharing with you that she made was that it prevented me from going out and running errands and leaving the house. That's an impact. We were also going to have a powerful conversation that didn't happen that could have enriched both of our lives. We also was going to train and go over some things that could have given us some additional what? Competencies. So listen, be responsible for these commitments that you're making and honor them. In short, just honor them. You know, a powerful thing that a coach said to me today, and I didn't like it when she said it because I told her that it was something I didn't want to do. And it don't change me wanting to do it because I still don't want to do it and I'm not going to do it. And it's only because I'm not freely choosing, right? There's a consideration on why I don't want to do it, right? Sometimes we don't do things because we're mad. That's a consideration. That's a reason. That's something that's controlling or driving the decision that we're making. We're not freely choosing, hey, I really don't want to do that. I just don't want to do it because I don't want to do it. And see, you can't just say you don't want to do it because you don't want to do it and you think you're choosing. That ain't powerful either because that means you don't really get the concept. Because to not really have any considerations for something or reasons for doing something takes powerful work. And I'm sure, and you can't do it in a second. That's why I'm still not doing it because I don't want to do it. That's because I'm upset about something. And I don't want to let it go. And I don't want to express it. Now, my reason is because I'm not fully clear and I'm not as flat with it, right? There's so many different reasons why I don't want to do this thing. I'm mad at a person. I don't think they're authentic. I don't like their personality. Like I got all these reasons. So that's not freely choosing. I'm not freely choosing not to do it because I don't want to. The reason why I'm not doing it is because I don't like them. I don't like their personality. I don't think they're authentic. Like all these stories, it's fake. Because you can't allow those things to stop you from doing the things that you want to do in life. You got that? So right now, I'm not empowered. I'm not in a powerful position, but it's real life. This is what's happening. Are you aware that you make decisions like this because of your considerations. That's not freely choosing. Somebody else and something else is driving that, but neither here nor there. Look, honor your commitments. Take ownership of them. Restore relationships. Okay? When you do not honor them commitments, take ownership, restore the relationship, and own the impact. Restore the impact. Get the impact. Get it. You need to be responsible for it because you caused it. Whatever the breakdown was, whatever time you took away from them, whatever activity they wasn't, offer to assist with the impact that you caused. You think that person asked to assist me with anything that they caused for me? No, they kept sending text message about what they was doing and what they accomplished, and I kindly stopped responding. So I'm like, you had this time. This was time that we had set aside, but you didn't want it. So I'm not going to spend it texting you back and forth. That's what I'm not going to do. But anyway, not going to stay on this soapbox. Look, if you need assistance and just honoring your word, and you want to be in conversation, look, I'm going to put in here my discovery call link. You can set up a discovery call. It's not going to cost you a thing for us to be in conversation to see if I'm the coach for you. If you believe that a conversation will help you determine whether or not I can take you from point A to point B, then I'm looking forward to that opportunity. I definitely want us to have an opportunity to talk and to actually be in conversation and to see if I am the person for you, right? If I'm the person that you want to be in conversation with in order to become a person that honors their word. And for some people, you ain't interested in that. And I get it. And if you're not interested in being that type of person or living life that everything matters and that's not your deal, that's not where you are, you don't want to, like I don't want to, you don't want to, great, fine. I'm not her. Not right now. But at least you're starting to gain an understanding of who I am and what I'm about. So look, I love you guys. Set up your discovery call today. I don't bite, but I'm straight. A conversation together would definitely be powerful. I know that it will. No conversation anybody's in with me, don't walk away with something. You will walk away bigger with a conversation with me, hands down. You're going to gain something. You'll have a takeaway. You'll take something away from that conversation. So if you want to take advantage of the time, click the link, schedule a discovery call, and I look forward to being in a conversation with you. Hey, I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live